I believe we're tight on the clock. This is a piece of antiquity. It's heavy, and I do believe we're now pulling out to reveal my Antiques Roadshow maestro, Raymond McCabe. How are you, Raymond?
Very
This
good,
is the
Ron,
clock.
thank you.
Now this clock, oh, it's heavy. What makes it so heavy, would you tell me?
Probably the case, number one, and the works, the amount of works that are inside it.
Wow.
There's a barrel movement in it, there's chimes in it.
Chimes?
Unfortunately, I've forgotten the key.
Wow, okay.
But I would have let
It's
you
a
know.
lovely piece. What is that? Is that a carriage clock?
Correct.
Now that would, originally, if it had been used as a carriage clock, it would have sat in its own case
It would have been a leather-bound case
to be taken on the
to
journey.
be taken on the journey. Probably the case, probably 2 or 3 inches
Yeah.
outside the case of the clock, velvet-bound.
Wow.
And probably normally when it went on its journeys, it wasn't taken out of the case. The doors were open off the case.
To have a look at it.
To have a look at it.
Yeah.
And it's a repeater movement. There's a repeater at the top of it.
I sometimes, oh yeah.
When it chimed, it would repeat the chiming,
Wow.
like an alarm clock.
I see. Now, what's it made out of? Is it gold? It's not gold. It's brass. Or gunmetal.
It's probably gilded. That's
Gilded,
where you're getting
gilded,
the,
yeah,
the
yeah.
gold effect on it. It's solid brass
Yeah.
brass movement. The panels, if you can see in the top, the oval panel,
Yes, it's glass.
it's beveled.
Beveled glass,
All
which is
beveled,
something.
Which
I think when you
Ron,
bevel your glass, you've made it.
of course.
There's no doubt. You had nothing but beveled glass in McCabe's Emporium of Antiquity out there
We're well
on the
beveled.
Belfast. This is Raymond McCabe. I maybe said that, did I? Raymond is here in our antique slot every Friday at this time. And a clock like this, do you know what I love? I love the little border of ceramic around it. Very colourful there at the top. Very colourful indeed. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
piece.
Worth, I would say, what, £1,000, would you say?
Today's value 8 to 1,200. A few years ago, probably double that. But unfortunately, like all antiques, have come down
Really?
in value. Yeah. Now, to me, people should try to hold on if they can
Yes.
and
yeah.
keep them, because the
They'll
old
come
saying,
again.
we're not making new antiques.
We're not making new antiques, absolutely right, but we are making the antiques of tomorrow.
Of course.
That's happening.
Yes.
Goodness gracious, there's some wonderful furniture makers
Some
around.
fabulous
Yeah.
furniture makers out. This other piece we have here,
Yeah, it's gorgeous. It's a
this
little,
would be an apprentice's piece.
yeah,
It'd be a copy of an elbow, what would be called an elbow chair,
yes.
hence the elbows,
For the
or
obvious.
an armchair.
Yeah, yep.
Arms high, very high in it.
Yes.
Because today's armchairs, dining chairs, are quite low, and we've
Yeah.
modernised them to go on the tables.
Pass it to me, I'd like to hold, because this was made by an apprentice of a master.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful wood, it's the real McCoy.
Mm-hmm.
It's so wonderful. I'd probably think about £1,000 for that.
Unfortunately, no.
It says 1,000 under there.
Does it?
I think it does not. Maybe that's a code, yeah.
Value of something like that as an old apprentice piece. Now, this is a modern day version.
Yes.
But as an old apprentice piece,
Yeah.
could be, well, depending where it's coming
It's
from.
beautifully made. This is made in Vietnam.
Yeah, Vietnam, Indonesia, Asia.
Great
Fantastic.
skills. But you used travel there, didn't you? I'm actually finding myself wanting to fondle this and hold it. It's that kind of piece, you know. That's it there. You can see it, Ryan, can you? Yeah. It's just such a lovely piece to hold. And but you actually travelled widely in the Far East.
Widely in the Far East.
Sourcing stuff.
And if you've seen the people who made this, it's like making jewellery.
Yeah.
Like each arm, it's hand carved. It's not press molded.
No, it's not.
Every chair would have been different. They would have started in this and then progressed to make, of course, full-size versions. But again, the market is back in this style of furniture.
Yes.
But an original piece will still fetch tens of thousands.
Yeah. Even now.
Even now.
Yeah,
even now.
I-
But the market has changed in the furniture and interiors industry to go more for sometimes rustic oak. Rustic look. Now we're into painted furniture, which is an old Irish
Indeed. I've
way
seen-
of
Yep.
interiors. So the market's constantly changing.
You get all kinds of people through your doors, walking over the cobblestones of my childhood,
Indeed.
which you took with you from Mary Street,
St. Mary
where
Street,
your
yeah.
daddy came 80 years ago, 90 years ago. Your grandfather,
My grandfather.
came 90
Yeah.
years and more ago from Belfast to set up the business here. And I, as a boy, 50 years, 60, 70 years ago in Newry, used to play on Mary Street and run around on those cobbles. How very wise of you to take the cobbles with you and put them down in front of your emporium out on the Belfast Road.
Well, I suppose we wanted part of Mary Street with us.
Yeah.
It was sad leaving Mary Street.
You would be, sure.
Because we were there a lifetime.
Yeah, sure. The day we buried your grandfather, we stood at the door.
That's correct.
We stopped outside.
Yeah.
We stopped outside the old yard.
Yeah.
And was there, absolutely.
And funny, that's what it was known as, the yard. There was
The
no
yard.
sign, there's no neon sign,
No.
there was nothing.
No,
It was just the yard.
boys, dear. It's just, those were good days and different
Indeed,
days.
indeed.
What kind of folk are coming through your door at the moment? There's not a lot of money about, so once upon a time maybe moneyed people would have come to you.
Yeah, things are tough at the minute, but we all try to get by. I suppose we're back to what we did in the Mary Street days, as you call it, the book. Back to the book.
The book, what do you mean?
The book. So you come in and you buy something and you put a few pound off it, and you come back and you pay another few pound off it. When you get it paid for, then you might look at something else. So we're back to that generation of paying it off over a few months. And
I have to say to you, when I buy bits and pieces from you, and the last thing I bought was my magnificent writing desk. Absolutely lovely piece of furniture. It's not terribly big, that's the width of it, that's the depth of it. Beautifully hand-carved mahogany writing desk, which I use, and a lovely lamp to go with it. And I have to say that in buying from you, I consider that I'm going into, as I often say to you, Raymond, may I enter the tunnel of temptation?
of course.
And Raymond says, of course. That's all he says. Because he knows fine well that something is going to catch the eye. And one of the things that caught the eye was the magnificent bed I bought from you. That bed is so cozy. I just sleep there and I turn and I throw the duvet up and the duvet down and throw it out and on the ground, and then I go back to sleep again. It's a wonderful bed. And it's a solid bed. I love a
Very
solid
solid bed.
I love a solid bed, which is very important.
But as you know, it's the mattress you lie on. It's not the bed frame, it's the mattress.
You told me something about mattresses. The mattress I lie on is a very special mattress. What makes it special?
It's you've got a Harrison cotton mattress,
Harrison cotton.
which would have wool, cashmere, hemp, 400 thread count, cotton cover on it,
400 cotton cover, 400 cover, 400
and excess of 6,000 pocketed springs.
6,000 pocketed springs. Ladies, my number is 72956. Did I really say that? So you were telling me the people who come through your door nowadays, who are they and what are they?
We get a mixture of people. We get a lot of people from 25 plus, right up, 60, 70, 80 up, more.
Yeah.
And we get a lot of stories where somebody was in last week and said, "Oh, I bought a beautiful sideboard off your grandfather."
Wow.
And yes, I was very proud in this, but I was thinking, is it not time you changed?
That's the kind of modernity in you coming out. But if there are 80 coming into you, they would be looking to buy a coffin.
Oh, no.
Well, could you facilitate such a wish?
It would be...
Sell anything, this boy.
Actually looked into it, but no, thank you.
No, not a good idea. No.
Yes, it would be coming in. There would be grandmothers, daughters, granddaughters coming in. So you'd have family generations coming back.
Used to it, and coming back
in
all the time.
And we advise people, just take your time and buy easy. Time.
That's the way he says it to you. Take your time, relax, enter the tunnel of temptation, be at ease, see what you like, and then talk to me.
Yeah, of course.
But the settee I got from you is very, very wonderful.
Thank you.
It's very... I think there was a small... What was it? It was South African, wasn't it? I think
It was, yeah.
It was South African.
Yeah, yeah.
It was made from the
Antelope.
tail, the antelope.
Antelope hide, yeah. Extremely good leather. One of the best leathers we do. Quality.
Yeah. Of course, I'm not going to be buying another settee
course,
from you.
Of course.
Why would I? Can you give me? Here I am. I've got this settee 5 years from you. Convince me I need another one. What would you do to convince a man like me that he needs a second settee? There's no way.
You don't?
I don't.
You don't?
I
Come
don't.
back to me in another 20 years.
20 years? Oh, well, I'd be glad to do so. That would be good. So the antique market is not what it was, but it's still there.
No, that's probably why we progressed back into new furniture.
Yeah.
And trying, as you said earlier, new antiques.
Yeah.
Quality. People want quality. Quality, price, and then price.
Yeah.
And people want good service, good quality. They don't want shoddy goods, and we don't want complaints. As a retailer, nobody wants complaints.
But when I go to you, I can come into you, and whether I'm putting money on the book to buy the thing, or whether I'm saying to you, I'll take that and I'll see you at the end of the month, whatever.
Yeah.
When I'm doing that, it's I know that the quality is there, and it's an investment in a kind of way, in an heirloom almost.
Very much so. Any product that we sell, the beauty about ourselves is we've the lads who work for us, work in the company. Like one's a polisher, French polisher, one's a
I've seen your restoration work going on.
Yeah, we do it. So even with new furniture coming in, pre-boxed, it has to be opened to check, to be fully checked.
Yeah.
So if there is a damage or not much so much a slight touch up,
Yeah.
but you're going back to the quality issue. I would ask the boys sometimes, well, you arrived to Rowan's house and what was the bed really like when you were assembling it? Was it easy? Was the timbers good? And they would tell me honestly, no, don't get them again, or yes, they were great.
Yeah, yeah.
And you would take it on board that maybe we won't do that product again because of certain things.
I've now bought 3 beds from you.
You're a tough guy in beds.
Tough guy on beds. 7259. It's great to see you.
Thanks very much.
Will you come to me next week
I will,
again?
I will.
We're going to take you into the old days with music. I think it might be something like, is it the Ink Spots or something like that, or one of those fellows. It's an interesting kind. So we had the twist earlier and stuff like that. Let's twist again like you do.
Yeah.
Anyway, prepare to hear the music now.
When the swallows come back to Capistrano, that's the day you promised to